Hi, this is Kylie Ross Seibert from Retail Alliance, and this is the Retail Is podcast. And today we are joined by my guest co-host, Karen Husselby. And our guest today is actually Becky Devlin, owner of HortiCulture Design Company. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
It might be easier just for you to sort of explain what your business is and how it came to be, rather than me trying to explain it.
So Sure. So my business is called HortiCulture Design Company. We're a plant shop, flower shop, workshop space, and we have a lot of home and gift items kind of all in one place.
Okay. Well, how did you get that idea then? I mean, that's sort of unique.
It's been a big, long evolution. I actually started as a flower farmer. When my kids were little, I was growing flowers and selling them at farmers markets and to florists and grocery stores. But the longer I did that, the more people wanted me to design flowers. So then I opened a floral design studio and did primarily wedding flowers, some delivery. We had a little bit of retail space. And I found that what people really wanted in the retail space was plants and pots and just cool gift stuff that you can't really find anywhere around here. And my space then was so tiny. So I kind of opted to, when that lease was up, try to find a new space. And that's kind of where we are now.
So when you say around here, are you talking the region of Hampton Roads or a particular city?
Yeah.
Okay, so where
Becky, when you opened your space, you opened sort of in the middle of COVID. So how was that, and what were the struggles that you kind of had to work around the COVID issues?
You know, I feel guilty saying this, but we had none. We had no struggles. Like, it was the kind of thing where we'd look at each other every day and go, "This is easy. Everything is easy." Because of COVID, we were supposed to open in April. Because of COVID, the construction took longer because they were literally doing inspections over the phone. So they would FaceTime the Norfolk inspectors who were all working from home and not going out to job sites and get their inspections like that. And so everything just took longer, which was perfect because by the time the space was actually turned over to us, we had exactly the amount of time we needed to do what we needed to do to it. To be able to open right when the governor's order lifted and we were able to open. So it was just, I can't complain at all. And then on top of that, you know, I think also because of COVID, people are nesting and they're making their houses look prettier, and people that were already into plants are now obsessed with plants. People that weren't into plants are now becoming plant parents. So it's just, couldn't have been more perfect. I hate to say it. I feel guilty saying that almost because I know people that have small businesses that I used to work with in the wedding industry that went out of business. And, you know, here we are just opening in the middle of the pandemic and flourishing. So I couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only one. There's a lot of, as you say, the more, I suppose, the leisure activities, you know, gardening, hardware, those sorts of essential businesses too, were fairly successful through the pandemic. So don't feel guilty about it. You know, it's a sign, you know, we need some small businesses to survive. So
this is true.
So I'm glad you're one of them. So you started out flowers, now you're into the store. So describe a typical day.
Oh gosh. Probably the best way to describe it is that there isn't one. One of the things that I've had to do, and I'm finally feeling like it's smooth sailing, is building a team of people. We have, with flowers, with plants, with retail, we do gift boxes. You know, we have so many different aspects to the business that I've had to really work hard to build a team. You know, we've only been open a couple months and I've already had some turnover. But I feel like now I've got to the point where I have really, really great people, and I'm having to turn over more and more to them, because I can't be the one to, you know, greet every customer and barcode every product that comes in and water every plant, and it's just too much. So, you know, I've been working on trying to get them going and kind of get systems for everything. That's been kind of where we are. And you know what, I've been rambling. I don't even remember the question at this point now.
Just to say, what was your typical day? But it sounds like
Oh,
you were
gotcha.
saying
Yes.
it's different for every day. But I want to just point on one thing. What is this box that you're talking about? That sounds
So
tricky.
we do gift boxes. We have these really cute wooden boxes, no top, just basically an open rectangular box. We have a small one and a large one. And then we have some in the shop that are always put together. So it might have a small plant in it. It might have a small flower arrangement instead of a plant, an air plant, a candle, you know, bath salts, candies, different things like that. And we're working on putting a display together so that people know they can come in and make their own. They can choose their items and then we'll fluff it up and make it look real pretty and ready to give to somebody. But you know, things like that, we're just now getting going with that. There's so many things that since we opened have been on the to-do list and I just haven't had a chance because we've been just so busy. So
That's a good
there
point.
is probably no typical day for me.
Yeah. I mean, you were talking about, you know, you've got gifts as well in there. So it's not just plants, it's like gift stores as well, stuff as well. So where do you source all your stuff?
So a lot of this is stuff that I had in my other shop, my tiny little shop, it's just on a much larger scale. And then not this year because it didn't happen, but last year no, was it? Okay, now I don't remember. I feel like the pandemic, that feels like 2 years to me. And I'm like, was that 3 months ago or 3 years ago? But we went to a market in New York City and it's a very small curated market for like home gifts, jewelry, all kinds of fun stuff. And it was really, really cool because a lot of the people that I buy from, I communicate directly with the person that's making it, like the owner or whatever. And so it's really nice to support small businesses with our small business. It's very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Becky, how are you working with other local small businesses in the Hampton Roads market? Like, have you partnered? Do you carry any product from local businesses?
We do. We'd like to do more. One of the things I struggle with a little bit, we're really super selective. So the bulk of our products that we carry in the shop, by far the majority is plants themselves. So that, you know, those all come from growers all over the country, most of them from Florida. We do, like, we carry candles that a local candle maker makes. We carry, we've done collaborations with, we've had some pop-up shops. So we just had a craft pop-up a week or two ago, and we had 4 local craft vendors set up in our courtyard. So people could come and support them, which they all were just raving because it sounds like most of them sold out, which was super cool. And then of course people come in, you know, it brings people into our shop. I think we had like 100 people come through over the course of the day, which was really cool. And then Cure Coffee House has come twice. They came for a grand opening and also for that, and did a pop-up and set up a coffee bar at our checkout counter, which was really cool. And we plan on doing more of that type of stuff. So it's been really fun.
Oh, that's great. And talk a little bit about your courtyard area. So you have the store, but you had mentioned the courtyard.
Yeah. So our building used to be a warehouse. It was actually Rowena's Bakery.
Okay.
To let Norfolk people know. Yeah. And it was just a big warehouse building. So we had concrete floors and we have the big high wooden ceilings. And the landlord decided to rehab the building and make it into 2 different suites. That's basically, the building is now U-shaped and the middle part is a rectangular courtyard section. So it's probably half of it is covered overhead, which is kind of nice because we have some space that's outside that's covered, and then the rest is open, but it's lighted. We do share it with our neighbor who is an architect. So when they are there, it's open. The gates to the courtyard stay open because that's where their front door is. But when they're not there, we keep the gates closed. And then it's basically like having a fenced courtyard that we can do. We could do pop-up. We had it open for the pop-ups. When we do workshops, we set up tables out there and we keep it closed. So it's like an enclosed space. It's really cool.
So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say with the workshops then, during COVID, did you, for the last few months, have you been able to conduct workshops, or how have you managed to do that?
So when we first opened, we had them and we just really limited the amount of people. Our workshop space is pretty big, and we're able to spread all the tables out. And then typically people come in a group of 2 or 3 or 4. So you would have an individual table of people that are together. And then we also have the courtyard, and we can easily have tables out in the courtyard that people can use that. But after the July workshops, I felt like we were struggling to get people to stay socially distant during the workshops. Basically trying to get people to stay at the tables and keep their masks on. And, they did, but we were having to police it the whole time. So right now, we've had a couple scheduled, but we're basically limiting most of them to private workshops. So if people have a group.
What is the workshop? Because it sounds interesting, but what is the workshop?
So we have several different workshops that people can take. We do like a succulent garden workshop where you make like a tabletop succulent garden. We have a kokedama, which is a Japanese moss ball where you take a plant and instead of a pot, it's planted in a big ball of moss. We do flower arranging workshops. So we do a hanging terrarium workshop. So for private, people can just pick one. They email me and they say, I have this many people. We want to do it on this date. We have certain days and times available. And that way, it's usually a smaller group for one thing. It tends to be 6 to 8 people. And it's just their group of people. So that keeps it a little bit more manageable for now.
Yeah. Wow, that's something I'd be interested in. My green thumb is limited to this plant that I got told anyone can grow. So
that's a good choice. That's a good choice. Though most of the workshops do involve instructions too. We're like, you made it. It looks pretty. Now here's how you keep it alive, which is usually the key. Yeah.
And Becky, I know you have plants and gifts, but you also have fresh flowers, right? And you have a flower bar. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a flower bar, which is basically just a table full of fresh flowers. We always have arrangements made. So if people want to pop in and buy an arrangement, we always have what we call our minis, which is just kind of small little arrangement that might go in a powder room or next to a bed. We always have those. So people can come in and they can just pick some flowers and take them home and arrange them in a vase. They can pick flowers in a vase and then we'll arrange it for them. Or people can come in and buy pre-made arrangements. We can also make them on the spot. So if people come in and they want arrangements, but not what we have made, we can do that too. And then every Friday we have our flower happy hour. So from 4 to 6 on Fridays, we have refreshments, and all of the cut flowers on the flower bar are 50% off. And that's been very popular. Yeah, we've had a lot of neighborhood folks from Ghent that have become regulars. We actually have a couple people that don't even live in Norfolk that have become regulars. So it's really fun. It's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, anything with a drink. Yep, awesome.
Right?
So a question I had was, because it is such a unique concept, who do you regard as your competitors then?
I don't know that anyone around here does. Well, okay, I do know. No one around here does the same thing we do. There are plant stores. There are floral design studios. I don't know that there are necessarily flower shops that do the same kind of thing where it's like just come in and pick some flowers and we have them all the time. And, one thing we haven't even touched yet is wedding flowers, which is something I've always done. We've done a couple small weddings since we've been open, but I haven't even started marketing it because I know people are still kind of canceling weddings and rescheduling and trying to figure it out. And we've just been trying to keep up with everything we have going on so far too. So I haven't even started with that, but that's something starting in January, we'll kind of be getting the word out again that we do wedding flowers too. So, but I don't know that anyone does, definitely not the way we're doing it. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a unique concept. So I was sort of wondering, do you compare yourself to a garden center or a florist or a gift store, boutique? I mean, it just,
I know,
a bit of everything.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I know. It's hard when people ask, so what do you do? It's like, well, You have a minute?
I suppose that in that way, how do you market yourself then?
I mean, we've just been kind of like putting out there, here are the things that we do. You know, we have our website, which already needs to be updated because things have already changed and evolved since we opened 3+ months ago. Most of our marketing happens on Instagram. Which also posts to Facebook, and we have more followers on Facebook than I thought we would. There is a Facebook group called 757 Houseplants. And apparently we get mentioned in there quite regularly, and we'll show up, you know, to open one day and there'll be like 3 people standing at the door going, I'm here for the Song of India. And we're like, okay, like whatever. But somebody will post, I got this plant at HortiCulture Design Company. And then people, I was greeted one morning when I opened by 2 guys from Newport News that had driven to buy a plant that someone had posted that we had. So it's very avid plant lovers in Hampton Roads. It's funny.
And, you know, word of mouth and recommendations is, you know, as we all know, very important.
Yes, huge.
But I'll have to have a look at that Facebook. Is that going to like make me a good green thumb, do you think?
No, it's going to make you go, oh my gosh, I had no idea people were so obsessed with plants. Like I can't even keep up. I'm just like, you know, people will post and they'll be like, oh, does anyone know where I can get a blah, blah, blah? And I'll be like, we have them, come see us, you know? So it's cool. There's also a Ghent Facebook group, Ghent, Norfolk. And the second day we were open, you know, since we opened, when people come in, we greet them and we're like, have you been in before? And so far, the majority of our customers are still first timers. No, I heard about you, but I haven't. And we would say, you know, how'd you hear about us? And all these people kept saying, oh, the Ghent Facebook group. And we're like, what? So went and joined that bad boy and have made some friends there. So, you know, I would say things like that are more effective on Facebook than just posting stuff on Facebook.
Oh, definitely that engagement, I think, you know, making sure you're part of the conversation.
Yes.
It's been helping a lot of small businesses, restaurants and others like that. So yeah, that's a great idea. So very good. A question I had was, I mean, you started in the middle of the pandemic. Karen had asked you this, but what were some of the pitfalls that you would recommend avoiding? Like, did you have some issues? I know you, like, I mean, I'm amazed that the inspectors did things via video. I thought that they would have shut down completely.
I was a little concerned. So our electrician was amazing, so I wasn't concerned. He's just really, really good, and actually even came back and did some stuff. He worked for the contractor that worked for the landlord. So he didn't even work for me and still came back and helped me with some stuff after the fact. Just really, really great guy. And so for that reason, I didn't worry, but otherwise I was kind of like, should I be concerned? He's literally holding his phone up to the electrical panel to show the inspector. He's like, see? And I'm like, wow. Should I feel nervous about this electrical situation? But yeah. I mean, that's what they had to do. It was crazy.
Wow.
But I would say probably the one thing that I had to learn real quickly was not to post older pictures on social media. We posted a picture from an old workshop, and it was actually a former Ghent business owner. So I don't know, maybe she was bitter or something, but she screenshotted my pictures along with another business owner and posted them in the Ghent. Oh, no, it wasn't the Ghent Facebook group. There's now a Facebook group for mask-friendly businesses. And she went in and posted in there and was basically like just blasted us and this other business owner saying these people are just tone deaf. They don't get it. You know, they're not even wearing masks. And we both had to go and respond and say, those were old pictures. It's marketing, it's advertising, you know, and but some people have even said, you know, you got to be careful what you post even, or at least qualify. This is an old picture. We are wearing masks now, you know, that kind of thing. But other than that, we haven't really had any issues. We've had a couple happy hours where we were like this close to having to put someone at the door and tell people they had to wait to come in. But I mean, that's really the biggest issue we've had, is just too many people wanting to come in, which I feel like is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, if you have to have a problem, that's a good problem to have.
Right.
So for people who are, Kylie, can we call you plant challenged? So for people who are plant challenged, like Kylie maybe, when people come into your store, you can help them figure out the best plant for, if they're looking for their living room or their bedroom, or you get a lot of sunlight or shade, or it's breezy, or, are you able to kind of help people navigate the store and get exactly what they need for the particular location they're looking for?
We do. And that's definitely been, I would say probably half the people that come in looking for plants are very much like, I'm just getting started, I'm just learning, I've killed an air plant, those kind of people that definitely want guidance. We actually just 2 weeks ago, finally, after talking about this when we opened, ordered some cards, and they've got our logo on them, and then there's a blank and it says, hi, my name is, and we put the name of the plant. And then there's check boxes. So you can say, I like low light, I like, dry soil, I like wet soil, I'm pet friendly, I'm not pet friendly. That's a big question we get. So we've tried to start putting those on all the plants so that people, a lot of people are hesitant to ask too many questions because they already are coming in half terrified going, I've killed all my plants, I don't even want to ask. And so that way they can, they can at least start getting an idea on their own. But a lot of what we do is talk to people about, we constantly have people bust out their phone and here's a picture of my living room, where this is
what do I put here?
Putting it in. Yes. And we're always happy to give, as much advice as we possibly can. And then we always tell people, like, let us know how your plant does, or if it starts looking sad, give us a call or shoot us an email. We'll see if we can help you out. And we've had that happen a couple times. And for the most part, we always have the repeat customers that are like, they buy the pot, they buy the plant, and then they come back a month later with the empty pot and they're like, okay, fill me up again. We love those customers though.
Well, I'm back.
Yes. Yeah. We love those customers. So
I can see opportunities too, like working with people like interior designers and things to, when they're planning out, the rooms in the house, to be able to be a supplier to them and work with other people, like you were saying, collaboration. You already started doing some of that already, but there seems so much opportunity to grow. So is that your long-term goal? Like, what do you see yourself in, well, I mean, we can't really say, but if everything goes according to plan and you keep succeeding, which we truly hope, where do you see yourself?
So one of the things we've been working on since we opened is we're trying to launch an online shop. Just the biggest issue with that is we keep getting our inventory loaded up and then getting product photos, and then we sell out of something and then it's back ordered and we can't get it anymore. So trying to get a good balance of product that we feel like we could actually post it online and, make it for more than 3 days before we're out of that product kind of thing. So we're working on that. And then something we haven't told anyone yet is that we are actually already looking at a second location that I'm pretty sure by the end of this week that will be a done deal. So don't ask me where, but
you can't even tell us the city.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. But I mean, we just, the demand is there, and there's just, like you said, there's no one around here doing what we're doing. And we've had so many people come in and be like, oh my gosh, Norfolk needed something like this. I was driving here to get my plants, or I was driving there to get gifts. And so, I think there's definitely a need for it.
Well, I mean, you've got Newport News guys coming over, so, I think definitely room for opportunity there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it looks like you've been very successful so far, so we wish you all the best. But
thank you.
Do you have any other questions to ask?
No, just I would encourage people to go visit Becky's store. I've actually been there. It's beautiful and it's very fun, and she has a really nice selection of plants. But I love the gift ideas as well. And I think the gift box, what a great gift for a birthday or for a housewarming. I just think that's such a neat idea to be able to give somebody a plant. I think that's really cool. So congratulations on everything. We're really excited for you.
Oh, thanks, Karen.
Well, thank you for joining us, Becky.
Thanks for having me, Kylie.